On March 17, 2012, Donte Divincenzo tweeted, "I like it when girls lick my butthole. It's a life-changing feeling." This is the Museum of Twitter, the show we talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. It's Sports Tweet Saturday, and it's also the weekend of the NCAA Men's Basketball Final Four. And I had to cover what I think is one of the most important tweets related to that event. Now, this tweet was not tweeted during the Final Four, but it was discovered during the Final Four, along with many other tweets from Donte Divincenzo. So who is Donte Divincenzo? Donte Divincenzo is a basketball player currently on the Minnesota Timberwolves. He previously was on the Milwaukee Bucks and the New York Knicks, but he first came to the spotlight while in college playing for Villanova. He was named the most outstanding player of the Final Four when Villanova won back in 2018. He was not someone that was super high on anyone's radar, but he really balled out, and it was an incredible performance. And obviously, he stuck out a lot because his name is Donte, and he's white, and he was born in the 90s. I, like many other people, assumed we stopped making white Dontes in, like, the 1910s. But nope, his name is Donte Divincenzo. So yeah, he was already a little bit of a folk hero, being named Donte and being white. But then annoying people did the thing that annoying people always do whenever someone jumps into the spotlight. They looked at his old tweets. And this is just the tweet that I decided to highlight for the intro. He had many tweets that people talked about. I actually don't even know if this is the most famous one. This is just the one that means the most to me. And I don't even mean that in a weird way. I just think this is the funniest one. But he had many classic versions of bad teenager tweets. He used the N-word when quoting a rap song. He talked about his dad thinking he was a because he didn't want to play soccer. And he said, "Yeah, your girl has a nice body, but her face is ugly as shit." This is not to excuse any of the things he said, but it is worth noting that he was 14 and 15 when he tweeted all these things. And I can say personally that I definitely had tweets from when I was 15 that I ended up having to delete later on. Nothing like insane, but just like, oh, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't use that word. Let me get rid of that tweet. And so people did the thing that they do. They made a big deal about it. Another thing is, most people who are tweeting about these tweets were joking. That is the thing I think often gets lost in these discourses about old tweets. Most people don't actually think that it is a grave sin for a 14-year-old to tweet something wrong. But I think what happens is, the media sees a lot of people tweeting about it, and they interpret a lot of people tweeting about it to mean, oh wait, this must be a big deal. And so they treat it like a big deal. And so he ended up deleting his Twitter account, and eventually the university said that he was hacked. Now, obviously, he wasn't hacked, because these were tweeted long before he was anyone notable. And so then later, Donte fessed up, said it was him, and he apologized for using the words he used. But I don't know, man. I feel like this just adds to the lore of white Donte. Because I'm just fascinated by the idea that at 15 years old, he had had enough life experience in this area to be like, yup, that's a life-changing feeling. He used the word girls, plural. Multiple girls have done this to him. And he was 15. It's a rich text. Now, Anthony Nash actually has a very funny breakdown of how people reacted to the Donte tweets. Donte Divincenzo, "My dad thinks I'm a NBA Twitter, LMAO, hey. Divincenzo, butthole tweets. NBA Twitter, LMAO, hey. And then a tweet that I actually couldn't find a screenshot of, where he said that Russell Westbrook was better than LeBron. NBA Twitter says, "Can you believe this type of rhetoric? This kid has to be stopped." Because yeah, I do remember that. People were way more up in arms about him saying that Westbrook was better than LeBron. And they're right. They shouldn't maybe be up in arms about it, but that is an absolutely ludicrous thing to say. If I said that at 14, I certainly would say that I was hacked. But anyway, people joked about this in relation to Donte from time to time. When he was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks, user iWisco put on the Bucks subreddit, "I'm sold," with a screenshot of the tweet. When he was on the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors Latin America account, which I don't think is an official account, but it's like a fan account for the Golden State Warriors in Latin America, tweeted in Spanish, "Donte Divincenzo always makes good decisions. And on top of that, he plays basketball well," with a screenshot of the butthole tweet, saying that liking his butthole getting licked is a good decision, and also he's good at basketball. And honestly, the best joke that anyone made during this whole saga was, what is that? Oh, right, it was me. I quote tweeted the tweet, which obviously was deleted, and I said, "Pro comp Dwayne Wade," meaning that the player he'd be most like would be Dwayne Wade. Because this was coming on the heels of the whole thing where Gabrielle Union mentioned in an interview where partners should perform the same sex acts to each other, including butt licking. And so people made a lot of jokes about Dwayne Wade liking his butt licked. So my joke was that he's going to be like Dwayne Wade because he has the same taste as Dwayne Wade. You get it. And the reaction that I think we all were waiting for at the time was from Desus and Mero, back when they were still on speaking terms and on Viceland. They reacted to all of his old tweets, but this is how they reacted to this one specifically.
Favorite.
My man.
Donte out here.
You know what I'm saying? Donte, okay.
At 2:48 p.m. Donte, you living a wild life, my guy.
I mean, if you know anything about Mero, you knew he was going to react positively. And while I am making light of this, I do really think it's an awful practice to go back to teenagers' old tweets, particularly if they're like 14 or 15. That's not to say that 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds are completely blameless for the things they say, but I think we all know that by the time we were like 21, we were a much different person than we were when we were 14 or 15. And I wouldn't mind any of this if the media wasn't so ready to treat it seriously. If it was all jokes, it wouldn't be a problem. But no 21-year-old, after having an incredible experience, having the best games of his life, deserves a microphone in front of his face saying, "Do you stand by the thing you said on a random Tuesday when you're 14? Just don't do it." And I also think this practice makes athletes want to be more sanitized in their social media, and I think that's a lot less fun, so it's just bad all around. In any event, I hope whoever becomes a star this Final Four doesn't have this happen to them, and I hope that whoever becomes a star this Final Four is on the Florida Gators Gators because they win a championship. Go Gators, go Gators, go Gators. Follow me for a new tweet every day. And if you're a fan of the show, consider supporting my Patreon, patreon.com/museum of Twitter, where you get the weekly Museum of Not Twitter, and you can vote on what I cover on Subscriber Sundays.